Hey there, folks. It's Zach, and I don't know if you're interested in my opinions on Bill Richardson, you might want to check out the earlier vid because I'm burying that one with this one. Kind of in a reading mood today, since I know you got a lot of truth seekers out there. I thought you might be interested in something from. Been finally making my way. It's a 2008 edition is already out, but I'm reading Censored 2007. I don't know if you people are familiar with the Project Censored. But it's basically a group of people centered at a university who try to find the most significant underreported stories every year. And it's been going on for several years now. It's always a fascinating read to find out what you're not finding out about. This one, and there's like lots of them every year, lots of stories. They also do updates on previous censored stories that they have reported on. So it's a really interesting project. It's very thorough. It has a sense of history. Just a really well worth your while to check out any of the Project Censored books and find out about kind of the secret history of the United States. This one, though, I think would be special interest to a lot of the people who subscribe to my channel. Physicist concludes official September 11th explanation is implausible. There's a bunch of sources that they list for each one of these, usually. Let me read you this one. Research into the events of September 11th by Brigham Young University physics professor Stephen Jones concludes that the official explanation for the collapse of the World Trade Center buildings is implausible according to laws of physics. Jones is calling for an independent international scientific investigation guided not by politicized notions and constraints, but rather by observations and calculations. In debunking the official explanation of the collapse of the three WTC buildings, Jones cites the complete, rapid, and symmetrical collapse of the buildings, the horizontal explosions, squibs, evidenced in films of the collapses, the fact that the antenna dropped first in the north tower, suggesting the use of explosives in the core columns, and the large pools of molten metal observed in the basement areas of both towers. Jones also investigated the collapse of WTC-7, a 47-story building that was not hit by planes, yet dropped in its own footprint in the same manner as a controlled demolition. WTC-7 housed the U.S. Secret Service, the Department of Defense, the Immigration and Naturalization Service, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the Mayor's Office of Emergency Management, the Internal Revenue Service Regional Council, and the Central Intelligence Agency. Many of the records from the Enron accounting scandal were destroyed when the building came down. For further information about Enron, see my earlier video and find out about Bill Richardson's involvement in that. Jones claims that the National Institutes of Standards and Technology, NIST, ignored the physics and chemistry of what happened on September 11th and even manipulated its testing in order to get a computer-generated hypothesis that fit the end result of collapse, and did not even attempt to investigate the possibility of controlled demolition. He also questions the investigations conducted by FEMA and the 9/11 Commission. Among the report's other findings, no steel frame building before or after the WTC buildings has ever collapsed due to fire, but explosions can effectively sever steel columns. WTC-7, which was not hit by hijacked planes, collapsed in 6.6 seconds, just 0.6 of a second longer than it would take an object dropped from the roof to hit the ground. Where is the delay that must be expected due to conservation of momentum? One of the foundational laws of physics, Jones asked. That is, as upper falling floors strike lower floors and intact steel support columns, the fall must be significantly impeded by the impacted mass. How do the upper floors fall so quickly then, and still conserve momentum in the collapsing buildings? The paradox, he says, is easily resolved by the explosive demolition hypothesis, whereby explosives quickly removed lower floor material, including steel support columns, and allow near free fall collapses. These observations were not analyzed by FEMA NIST, or the 9/11 Commission. With non-explosive caused collapse, there would typically be a piling up of shattered concrete. But most of the material in the towers was converted to flour-like powder while the buildings were falling. How can we understand this strange behavior without explosives? Remarkable, amazing, and demanding scrutiny, since the U.S. government-funded reports failed to analyze this phenomenon. Steel supports were partly evaporated, but it would require temperatures near 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit to evaporate steel, and neither office materials nor diesel fuel can generate temperatures that hot. Fires caused by jet fuel from the hijacked planes lasted at most a few minutes, and office material fires would burn out within about 20 minutes in any given location. Molten metal found in the debris of the WTC may have been the result of a high-temperature reaction of a commonly used explosive such as thermite. Buildings not felled by explosives have insufficient directed energy to result in melting of large quantities of metals, Jones says. Multiple loud explosions in rapid sequence were reported by numerous observers in and near the towers, and these explosions occurred far below the region where the plane struck. In January 2006, Jones, along with a group calling themselves Scholars for 9/11 Truth, called for an international investigation into the attacks and are going so far as to accuse the U.S. government of a massive cover-up. We believe that senior government officials have covered up crucial facts about what really happened on September 11th, the group said in a statement. We believe these events may have been orchestrated by the administration in order to manipulate the American people into supporting policies at home and abroad. The group is headed by Jones and Jim Fetzer, University of Minnesota Duluth Distinguished McKnight Professor of Philosophy, and is made up of 50 academicians and experts, including Robert M. Bowman, former director of the U.S. Star Wars Space Defense Program, and Morgan Reynolds, former chief economist for the Department of Labor in George W. Bush's first term. Well, that was a pretty powerful set of information right there. And I don't know. I just kind of want to put that out and give a plug for the whole Project Censored series. It's amazing the stuff that you find in here. That's all for now. I had another thing that I might be talking about later today, but we'll see if I got time for that.